Hello everyone, I welcome you back once again in English video and I hope you all are safe and doing well at home. Now in today's video we are going to take a new chapter from your literature portion and the chapter name is The Old Clock Shop. This is your chapter number 4 from the book A Pact with the Sun. Now before this chapter there are two more chapters which we have left because as you all know that the term 1 exams are approaching and we don't have so much of time to complete the whole syllabus, so we have cut short the syllabus and the chapters which you have done till now in literature portion and also in language are only going to come in your exams in the term exam 1. Rest of the chapters which we have left, we are not going to do them. Alright, so don't take stress about those chapters. Prepare only these chapters which we have done till now. Now let's read the chapter and understand the chapter, what it is all about. Now, Christmas Eve had arrived. Christmas Eve means a day or the evening before Christmas Day. That is the evening of 24th December. Christmas, you all know, it is a festival of Christians. So before Christmas, that is 25th of December, the evening before that 25th December, that is on 24th December evening or the day, is known as Christmas Eve. Now it was a Christmas Eve that night, as last minute shoppers were going home. And the last minute shoppers, that means the customers or the shoppers who shop very late at night, were going home. And what was the scene? This is explaining the scene of that particular time. A thick white sheet of snow lay over Salt Lake City, USA. Now in this story, in this chapter, a city named Salt Lake, which is in USA, is described, and at this particular moment, at this particular time, that means it was Christmas Eve. That city, Salt Lake City, was covered with snow. Was all covered with snow, thick snow. Why? Because you all know that in December, it's very cold and it snows. All right, and USA is a cold country, so it was very cold at that time, at that evening, and Salt Lake City was covered with snow. Yet the lights were still burning in the old clock shop, as Ray, its old deaf owner, worked on a clock he had sold that day. Now what happened? This was the scene, that what was going on. It was an Christmas Eve and the last minute shoppers were going back home. The city, Salt Lake in USA, was covered with thick white layer of snow, and the lights were still burning in the old clock shop, because the whole market was closed, every shop was closed, but there was a light burning. There was still a light burning in Ray's old clock shop. Now who is Ray? Ray is an old man and he is the owner of old clock shop, but he is deaf. What kind of man he is? What kind of man Ray is? Ray is an old man and he is deaf, and he is the owner of that old clock shop. He was working on a clock. What he was doing there at late night? He was working on a clock he had sold that day. Now he was working something on a clock because it was an old clock shop. He used to repair, he used to sell out clocks, so he was working on that clock. Having finished his work, Ray stood up and was on his way to the back room when a cold rush of air from the front door hit the back of his neck. Now what happened next? Then when he had finished his work, he stood up, and he was just ready to go back to his back room. Back room means there was a room behind his shop. All right, so he was ready to go back to that room. What happened then? When he turned, a cold rush of air from the front door hit the back of his neck. And what he realized that the door has opened, and when the door opened, the cold air rushed from the front door and hit his back. He felt that cold air at the back of his neck. He turned to meet a last minute shopper, but his old wise eyes told him that this was not a shopper. Now, when he felt that door has opened, how did he know? He knew when that cold wind hit his back, he knew that someone has entered to his shop. So when he turned to meet that last minute shopper means because all the shops were closed and the people who just shop till the shop closes are known as last minute shopper. So he wanted to meet that last minute shopper. He turned back, but his old wise, because he was very old, but he was very wise also. So his wise eyes told him that that person who entered in his shop was not a shopper, was not a customer. Shopper means customer who comes to buy something from the shop, you all know. He saw two men, one in his 20s, the other closer to 50. Now, what did he see? That there were two men. One was younger, and he was in 20s. 20s means he was young. 20s means he might be 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, or like that years. And the another person was close to 50. That means the another person was age was near to 50 years. The younger man remained at the door. And what happened? That younger man remained at the door. He didn't enter the shop. And the older man approached the counter with no sign of friendliness in his eyes. But what happened? The other older man, the young man who was around his 20s, stood at the door, and the person who was older, who was around 50s, he approached the counter. Approached means, what do you mean by approached? To come closer or to come near. All right. So that old man approached the counter. Counter means where the owner stands. All right. So it's a table where the owner stands in the shop. All right. So the older man approached the counter with no sign of friendliness. What does it mean with no sign of friendliness? It means when a customer comes inside the shop, he just smiles and asks for something he wants. But he didn't see any sign of friendliness, any sign of, a quality of being friendly. Friendliness means a quality of being friendly. He didn't see any sign of friendliness in his eyes. Whose eyes? The person who approached the counter, or you can say the person who approached Ray. Approach means, I have told you, approach means to come near. He went near to Ray, or he went near to the counter. Ray was able to hide his growing fear as he slowly pushed a notepad and a pencil across the counter. Now, Ray got very afraid, but he was hiding his fear. Now, why he was afraid? Because it was very late night, all the market was closed, all the shops were closed, only his shop was open. And because those person were not customers, he felt that the person who has entered in his shop are not the customers. There was no sign of friendliness, so he got afraid. There was a fear in his heart that why these persons have entered at this moment of time in my shop. So he was a little bit afraid, but he was able to hide. He tried to hide his fear. And what did he do? He slowly pushed a notepad. He used to use a notepad and a pencil in his shop to converse with the customers, because he was deaf. He couldn't hear. So what did he do? He used a notepad that the customer could make a note on it, and then he could read it, and then he could make out that what the person or what the customer or the shopper needs. All right, so he pushed a notepad and a pencil across the counter. He smiled at the unfriendly face. Now, although he was very afraid, although there was fear in his heart that why these kind of people have entered in my shop at this time, but he gave a friendly smile. All right, he gave a friendly smile to unfriendly people, unfriendly face. Unfriendly face is talking about that person who entered in his shop. Then pointed to his ears and shook his head from side to side. Then what did he do? After first he pushed a notepad and a pencil across the counter, then he smiled to that person, all right, and then he pointed towards his ears that and shook his head from side to side. That means he was pointing out, he was trying to tell that customer, tell that shopper, or tell that person that he is not able to hear, he is deaf. A quick look of surprise changed the man's face as he studied the notepad, then turned and said something to his friend. Now, there was something written on the notepad which Ray had handed over to that person. Now, as soon as that person studied the notepad, whatever was written in the notepad, he was full of surprise, and then he turned back and said something to his friend. Ray used the chance to look closely at the man, paying attention to the shape of a gun and a restless hand in the man's right coat pocket. Now, by the time that the person who was in the shop was who was in the shop turned towards his friend and said something, the Ray got a chance to look closely to the man, and he was just noticing down that man, that what he is wearing, or what are the gestures of that man. So he was very paying attention to the shape of the gun. Then he saw a shape, gun shaped something that looks like a gun shape in his pocket, and restless hand. Restless has means the hand was, it was not still, it was moving, all right, in his coat pocket. Anger boiled within him, but it was kept down by an inner voice that said, "Be still." He wrote on the notepad, "May I help you?" Now, what happened when the moment he noticed that the man's right coat pocket had something that was gun shaped, and his hand was restless. His hand was not still, his hand was restless. That means he had come to that shop with some bad intention. He make out that, and then he was boiled with anger within him. That means he was full of anger. Who? Ray was full of anger, but it was kept down by inner voice that said, but then also Ray was kept down, he was calm, because his inner voice was saying that be still. His inner voice was calming him, was controlling him, that don't take any action, be still. He wrote on a notepad, "May I help you?" Then he wrote on a notepad, what he did, he write, "May I help you?" For the first time, the older man looked directly at Ray and smiled. Now, when Ray wrote "May I help you" on the notepad, after reading this for the first time, that older man looked directly to the Ray and he smiled at Ray, a cruel, mocking smile. But that smile was very cruel. He gave a very bad smile, or you can say he gave a very mocking smile. Mocking means just making fun of something or somebody. All right, mocking smile, जिससे किसी का मजाक उड़ाते हैं. So that smile was very cruel. That was not an innocent smile. That was very cruel smile, and it was a mocking smile. It means he gave a smile like he was making fun of Ray. They both understood why he was there, why his friend remained at the door. They looked like men who were down to their luck and were now ready to try something they would later be sorry about. Now what happened? They both understood why he was there. Both means Ray also understood that why they were there in the shop, and the both the person also understood that why they were, because why his friend remained at the door. Ray understood this. They looked like men who were down with their luck, and he could make out that the person the both the people were down with their luck. Down on their luck means that they were unlucky and they were in a difficult situation, or they were facing some problem. All right, so they have said that they looked like men who were down on their luck and were now ready to try something they would later be sorry about. Now it means that they were in a difficult situation, they need something, need money. They were not they were not the actual robbers. You can say that they were not the professional robbers who just go and rob people, but they were there because they needed money, or they were in need of something, right? The situation of such type that need they were in need of something, that's why they were there, and they wanted to loot that person, loot the shopper, and it was something that they would be sorry about later on. Next is the clocks ticked on. Clocks ticked on means tick tock. The sound that clock makes is the clocks ticked on, because when everything is silent, you can hear the tick tock sound of clock. All right. So because it was very silent outside also and inside also, the clock was ticking, tick tock, tick tock. Ray calmly wrote another message. Now Ray kept calm, kept still, and wrote another message. Have you come to pick up a clock or watch? Now he wrote, what did he write? Have you come to pick up a clock or a watch? Then he pointed to the lone board filled with hanging clocks and pocket watches. Now, after writing, have you come to pick up a clock or a watch? And then he pointed out to a board, and it was a lone board, and it was filled with hanging clocks. It was filled with hanging clocks and pocket watches. All right. So that means he wanted to tell them, he tried to tell them that I give loans also, I provide loans also against pocket watches or hanging clocks. He was not a pawnbroker, but at the same time couldn't say no to the needy people who placed their old watches or clocks before him for anything they could get. Now, he was not a pawnbroker. Pawnbroker means that pawnbroker is a person who lends money at interest on the security of an article pawn, or the old article kept with themselves, and then against that article or against that thing they lended money in interest, on interest. But he was not a pawnbroker, but at the same time he couldn't say no if somebody came to him for the help of money. So what did he do? He kept the old clocks or the watches with him and lended money to the people who were in need. All right, because he was very kind person and he could not say no to needy people. He loaned more than he should. Now, because he was very kind, so what he did do? He loaned more than he should. More than he should means he loaned suppose he have given somebody has kept something, some article, it is very old or it is not working, and its worth is around 100 rupees, but he gave them 150 rupees, like that. All right, so he loaned more than he should because he was very kind. They would be there when the owners wanted them back at the same price he had paid, with no interest. And what did he do then after that? He could, he returned that article back to the people who came back to take them, and when he took the money back from them, he took the same price which he had lended to them, which he paid to them, and he took no interest. All right, pawnbrokers take interest, but he was not actual pawnbroker. So he gave money against their articles. Articles means old watches or their clocks, and he loaned more than he should. And also when the people came back to him to take their articles back, he gave them back their articles and uh, took only the price which he had paid to them with no interest. He did not took any interest on the money he had lended. Then the older man seemed to feel a little easier, took out his hand from his pocket, and quickly looked at the watch on his wrist. Now, what happened? As soon as Ray pointed towards that lone board filled with hanging clocks, he understood that what Ray wanted to say to them. So then, after all looking all these things, he understood, and he felt little easier. He was calmed down, and then he took out his hand from his pocket and quickly looked towards the watch which he was wearing on his wrist. Wrist, you all know, all right, wristwatch. How much will you give me for this? The man wrote. Now, man did not ask, but he wrote on the notepad that how much you will give me for this watch. How much money you will give me for this watch. The man wrote on the notepad because Ray used a notepad to converse with the customers. So, the customer or that person also wrote on the notepad. Ray noticed a little shame in the grey eyes looking at him. Now, when he was asking, that person was asking that how much will you give me for this, Ray noticed that there was a little shame. There was a little shame in the grey eyes of that looking when he was looking at Ray. The watch was nothing special and yet had great powers. That watch was nothing special. Means the watch which he was wearing on his wrist, which he had asked him that how much you will pay for this, was not very special but had great powers. It was something to exchange a way out of a bad situation. What does this line means? That it was something exchange a way out of bad situation, that watch was not a very great thing, or was not very expensive or very special or antique thing, but it had great powers in the way that uh, it can help out a person to come out from a bad situation. Like it was a bad situation for that person because he needed money urgently, and he had no other way. He seemed no other way to come out of that urgency of money. So he decided to rob a shop, or he and that person decided to rob Ray. So now when he got a chance to watch exchange it what against money, he was out of the bad situation. And what helped him to come out of that bad situation? That watch which he was wearing. All right, so that's why that watch was not very special, but yet it had great powers to take out the person from the bad situation. Knowing that great need had brought the man to his shop in the first place, Ray asked, how much do you need for it? Now, the Ray also understood that that person is not a actual robber, is not an actual robber, but a great need of money has brought him to his shop. So he asked that how much you need for it, how much money you need for it. Then the reply came back on the notepad, whatever it's worth. Whatever it's worth means जितना भी आप इसकी कीमत लगाओगे उतना you paid. Whatever this watch worth you can pay. Ray reached to his cash counter Ray reached into his cash box, pulled out a $50 note, and passed it into the man's hand. As they shook hands, Ray looked into the man's eyes. They seemed to say, "Thank you." Now, after that, that person said that whatever you will pay, I will take it. Ray reached out to the cash box. He pulled out his cash box, pulled out $50 note, and he gave it to the man. And then they shook hand. Shook hand means like you shake hand. They shook hands, and then Ray looked at into man's eye. That what did he feel in his eyes? That they were saying thank you to him. They both knew the watch wasn't worth that much. Now again, it was said that as we know that the Ray was very kind, and he used to pay people more than the article's worth. All right. So again, what he did, he paid more to that person against that watch, and it was not that worth that much he paid. Before turning to leave, the man wrote, "I will be back to pick it up as soon as I can. Merry Christmas." Now, before turning to leave, when he was leaving, that person wrote on the notepad that I will be back, that he will return. That means that he said that I will return and as soon as I can. And also he wrote Merry Christmas. Now, the little story ended on the half hour with the clocks striking all together. The timepieces, which had been looking on silently all the while, rang out the time with such feeling that even Ray thought he could hear them. Their sweet musical message was filled with hope. Now, what happened? All this incident took the time of half an hour. It ended within that half an hour, and after that, all the clocks strike all together 12, and it was the Christmas time. And when they were striking all together, the sweet sound of striking all together was filled with hope, because it was Christmas, so it was giving a message of hope. And even the two men were also able to hear the musical sound, the sweet sound of tick tock, but also Ray thought that I also could hear those sweet sound of clocks, although he was deaf. And the one thought came in his mind, that the timeless message of peace on earth, goodwill towards all, was felt by all the three men stood in the old clock shop. And one timeless message, and one thing that strike in all the three of them was that it should be a peace on earth. Our motive should be spread peace on earth and goodwill to all. That means we can be kind to others, we can help others, and also in this way we can also help them to do, or help them or save them to do from doing something bad. All right, so this was the message from this story, and I hope you have understood the story, and you will do read this story once again, and if needed read it twice, thrice, because when you will read the story, you will come to know many things about the story. Also, you will come to know the very small points of the story also. And because in your exams I can give you questions from the middle of the chapters, all right, so it is very compulsory you to read the chapter. Unless you read the chapter, you will not able to do the question answers or the other questions which will be coming in your exams. So now let's do the question answer part of this chapter. Now this is your activity worksheet, and you will not submit this worksheet, all right, but you will be doing your work from here. Hard words. First of all, you will write the worksheet number, date, day, and the chapter name, and also the book name. Also, it is very compulsory to write the book name on the top of your worksheet. Then you will write the hard words: 20s, approach, friendliness, mocking, pawnbroker, seemed, exchange, and striking. The next is your word meaning. You will be writing your word meaning. I have given in your worksheets, but Now we will be doing the question answers. So I'll be reading the question and dictating you the answers. You will write as I will dictate. Alright. The first question is, what made Ray think the visitor was not really a shopper? Because we have already read that what made Ray think that the visitor was not really a shopper? What did he notice? What did he notice on that man that he was not a shopper? He came there in his shop with some other bad intention. So write down, Ray was deaf and dumb. Ray was deaf and dumb. Deaf and dumb means neither he could hear nor he could speak. Deaf and dumb, but a good judge of men. But a good Judge, judge of men. Full stop. His old wise eyes told him that the new visitor to his shop at the late hour, hour, comma, was not a shopper, or you can say customer, 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 full stop. There was no friendliness, friendliness in his eyes. Okay. Next question is, why do you think he had to come to the shop? The answer is, write down, the visitor had not come to the shop to buy anything, buy anything. Perhaps his intention, perhaps his intention was to loot the owner, loot the owner, owner of his cash. Full stop. He was in dire need of money. You can write urgent need of money, money. Okay. Next question is, how did Ray communicate with him? Write down, Ray could neither speak nor hear, neither speak nor hear, so he communicated, communicated with his customer, with his customer with his customer by writing WRITING, by writing a message or by writing his message on a notepad. The visitor also wrote his reply on paper. The visitor also replied on paper. Okay. The next question is, what do you think the man said to his friend? Write down. The older man pointed to his ears, pointed to his ears and shook, shook, shook his head from side to side, shook his head from side to side. Full stop. Thus, he conveyed, conveyed, he conveyed to his younger companion, to his younger, younger companion, 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 that the shop owner could neither hear nor speak, that the shop owner could neither, neither hear nor speak, speak. Let me read the answer again. The older man pointed to his ears and shook his head from side to side. Full stop. Thus, he conveyed to his younger companion that the shop owner could neither hear nor speak. Question number 5. Ray was not a pawnbroker. Why? Then he lent money to people in exchange of their old watches and clocks. Now Ray was not a pawnbroker. Write down. Ray was not a PAWN, pawn, BROKER. This is a single word. Pawnbroker. A person. Its meaning written over here. A person who lends money, 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 on security of some item, item, full stop. He did not lend money, lend money on interest, interest, on interest. He was, full stop, he was, comma, however, comma, kind, kind, kind and helpful. He could not say no. He, full stop, after full stop you will write he, could, could, and I will write the short form of could not, couldn't say no to the needy people. Okay. next question is, the watch was nothing special and yet had great powers. In what sense did it have great powers? Now you have to explain this, that in what sense you can say that the watch was nothing special but it had great powers. Write down. The watch was just ordinary. The watch, ready, ch, watch was ordinary, ODNARY, ordinary, full stop, but it had the power, 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 to pull a person out of a bad situation. To pull a person out of a bad situation. SITUATION, situation, full stop. The older man got the money he needed without hurting Ray. He needed without hurting, 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 RAY, Ray, full stop. The GENEROUS, generous, shopkeeper also escaped physical injury. Also escaped, ESCAPD, escaped, PHYSICAL, physical, INJURY, injury. In this sense, full stop, after full stop, in this SENSE, in this sense, the watch had great powers. The watch had GREAT, great, POWERS, great powers. The last question is, when did the unfriendly face of visitor turn truly friendly? Write down. We have left out the 7th question, alright? So don't think that why I have written question number 8 after question number 6, because I have left question number 7 here. So write down the answer number 8. The unfriendly face, the unfriendly face of the visitor, turned friendly, friendly, when he got a $50, when he got a $50 note, note, for his ordinary watch, for his ordinary, ordinary watch. He felt obliged, he felt obliged, 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 and happy, 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 full stop. Okay, now this is the end of your question answers here, and I hope you will do this question answers in very neat and clear handwriting, and also you will study the chapter very thoroughly, because you can get question answers other than these also. Alright, so till the next video, stay home, stay safe. Thank you.